to the Grand Ole Opry. Steve and Curtis Chapman.
What's up, everybody?
Hello, hello. Good to see you all. How are you? Good. Good night thus far. Yes, sir. Shall I call on people with their hands in the air? How do we do this? How are we going to do this? Yes. Anyone?
Jay Highland from Today's Christian Entertainment. Stephen, first off, congratulations. 60 Dove Awards, that's like unprecedented. You know, when you think back in your career over the last, 40 years, did you think you'd be where you are today and just as celebrated for just all the amazing music that you've done over the years?
I, very honestly, my wife would tell you this, anyone who knows me well. In fact, Dennis Disney was my very first manager. He's probably here tonight. He's now an attorney and works with Mitchell Eric and is still a manager. He and I were in college together at Belmont, and we were sitting side by side in physics of sound, which is the only reason I was able to pass that class, because he tutored me through and got me through. And things were starting to happen. I had a chance to make my first record, and I said, Dennis, I think I need a manager type person. And he said, well, I want to be a manager, so why don't I be your manager? That's how that started. And so he was my manager for the first couple of years, and he used to talk about, man, I think this is really, I think your songs are great, people are going to respond. And I used to try to tell him, Dennis, this is not that, I'm not Amy Grant, Michael Smith. I mean, those are the artists that, have that sort of large platform. I'm a singer-songwriter guy who just, if I can have a room full of people sharing my songs with, that'll be a win. That'll be all I could hope for. So I can honestly say, never imagined. The first Dove Award was unbelievable, and everyone since then have been like just more and more icing on the cake of this goodness of God that I've had the privilege of being a part of, this community, this family, so many, just faces of people that I have life with, I've done life with. We've wept together, we've celebrated together. And that's what makes tonight special for me, because I've got so much history here, lots and lots of years and years and years and years of history here. And so I'm just still very blessed by it.
Hi, Herb with the Christian Need. I wanted to ask you a little bit about your reaction to the upcoming induction into the Grand Ole Opry.
Oh gosh, yeah. So my dad, when I was a little kid, we would drive in Paducah, where I grew up. My dad never wanted to play the radio in the car. He didn't want music going. He taught guitar lessons, had a little music store. So music was kind of a big part of his life. But in the car, he didn't want any music going or anything. Except for one thing, and it would be late at night if we happened to be in the car together and the weather was just right. You could get AM 650 WSM, and you could get the Grand Ole Opry on Friday or Saturday night. And I remember driving in the car, and my dad would be static, and all of a sudden, Dad would go, there it is, hey, boys, listen, that's the Grand Ole Opry, and it'd be Bill Monroe, or it'd be Loretta Lynn, it'd be some iconic, thing happening. And just the wonder in his eyes, as my dad, lit something in me, like that's as good as music gets. I mean, that's the ultimate, place. And so fast forward, and his dream was to be on the Grand Ole Opry someday, to be, play, and so, I got the opportunity to play the first time when I was 19. I was working at Opryland, USA, which we used to have here, amusement park, and that was just my dad was there crying the whole time. This is unbelievable. My son's on the Grand Ole Opry. So you fast forward that, 19, how many ever years that would be now, 40, I call my dad and say, Dad, guess what? Ricky Skaggs, just invited me to be the next member of the Grand Ole Opry. The really cool thing is my dad, who can't hardly make a call on his iPhone without hanging up every time he puts it up to his own. Hey Dad, how you doing? Oh, it went away again. And someone called him that day and said, hey, I heard your son's gonna be on the Opry tonight. You can listen to it on your iPhone. Here's how you do it. And kind of walked him through, listening on the app. And so I called him as soon as it was over. And I said, Dad, guess what happened? And he said, oh, I know. He said, I heard it. I've been crying the whole time. He's like, this is awesome. This is amazing. So Lord willing, he and my mom will be here in November 1st. My dad will get to be there, and my mom to celebrate that really cool thing.
Hey, Jacob with the Christian Music Guys. We really love your song, Do It Again.
Thank you.
Amazing song. Is there any new music that's coming out later? Or?
You know, I've always got something, cooking. I just recorded a song. My wife and I celebrate our 40th anniversary week after next. And thank you. And I had written a song for her. I started it a couple of years ago, but never got it recorded. So don't tell her. This is a spoiler because I'm trying to get it recorded to give it to her for our anniversary. So anyway, but so I'm always working on something. I was in the studio working on that, writing, and I've got some things kind of, back. I'm not, there's no immediate plans, hey, the next album is coming or whatever. Music is so different. I mean, you guys know it's changed so much in my lifetime. Some of y'all have been around for at least some of that change, to go from cassette tapes. Remember the Blue Sparrow cassette tapes? That's when my first music was on, right? And albums, not because they were cool retro vintage things. That's how you listen to music only. To now streaming and how people release music and how consumers consume it. It's so different. So Do It Again is a song that I had that I loved. I wrote it and produced it with my sons, who are my favorite rock band in the world, Colony House. And I thought, man, it'd be so cool if I could get to work with those guys. Oh, wait a minute. I feed them a lot. I bet I could withhold enough meals that they would have to work with me. And sure enough, it worked. So yeah, I do have a Christmas song, actually, coming out that I wrote and recorded with Hillary Scott from Lady A, which I love. And we wrote it together with Nathan Chapman, the guy who produced the first 5 Taylor Swift records, and he's a friend. And his dad is named Steve Chapman. The reason my name is Stephen Curtis Chapman is because of his father, who was already doing Christian music when I was coming to town. So kind of a crazy full circle story. I'm getting to work with Nathan Chapman. And so we have a Christmas song that will be coming out soon.
All right, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank y'all.